referred to the Committee on Insurance. Another bill introduced by the State House Democrats, most of the female.
This is the L2C Media Network, and this is Sports Final with Steve the Baxman Baxley, brought to you by the L2C Media Network. Now, thanks, Baylor, for keeping us a little late with the details from the headlines that made tonight's sportscast a thrill a minute. Here's Steve. All right, thank you very much. Evening, everybody. A short show, 45 minutes, not the hour. If we do make it into that hour, it'll be a miracle. So let's get on with it. Half of the Final Four is in the books. Let me just get this back to abnormal here. All right, let's oh hi, there you go. Let's get going with some headlines and go to college basketball. And wow, the women's tournament, Baylor coach Kim Mulkey shares controversial take on COVID-19 testing after a loss. And following their heartbreaking loss to University of Connecticut on Monday night, Baylor's women's basketball coach Kim Mulkey gave her thoughts on COVID-19 testing. Mulkey noted that she wishes the NC2A would stop COVID-19 testing now that they have reached the Final Four, with her reasoning behind that players who test positive would miss the game. Controversial comments were unprompted and not in response to a question, according to reporters listening in to the post-game presser. She began her comments, her statement, by saying, quote, I want to say this to all of you. I don't think my words matter, but after the games today, tomorrow, there's 4 teams left. I think on the men's side and the women's side, they need to dump the COVID testing. Mulkey continued explaining why she felt that way. Quote, wouldn't it be a shame to keep COVID testing and then you got kids that end up having tested positive or something and they don't get to play in the Final Four, so you need to just forget the COVID test and let the 4 teams that are playing in each Final Four go battle it out, she said, in quotation. Many basketball fans responded to her comments saying, it's misinformed, dangerous, and irresponsible. The NC2A has been testing students, coaches, and those working the event in order to keep not only them safe, but others when they return to their schools. COVID-19 testing has been one way the NC2A was able to put on a tournament this year, as they had to cancel it last year because it was early in the pandemic with more unknowns and less testing. Now, there's no reason to believe they would change any COVID-19 protocols now with the tournament literally almost done. And speaking of that, let's hit the scoreboard. One half of the grade 8 made their games tonight due to the final scores. Number 2 seed Houston defeated number 12 seeded Oregon State by a score of 67-61. And in a game that you saw on CBS, number 1 Baylor defeated, number 1 seed Baylor defeated number 3 seed Arkansas 81-72. What a game. Now, coming up tomorrow on TBS, it all starts at 7:15 with number 6 USC going up against number 1 Gonzaga, undefeated since week 1. Then immediately following that game at 9:57, it's 11 seeded UCLA taking on number 1 seeded Michigan. Both games on TBS, 7:15 p.m. and 9:57 p.m. By the way, the scoreboards are all sponsored in part by William Hill Sportsbook. Let's make it interesting, and when you do so responsibly. All right. We have the women to do. Yes, we do. Let's give you some of the scores from the women's March Madness games. So, if we can do that, guys, I would be plenty happy.
Standard symmetrical all-wheel drive plus 33 miles per gallon. Standard all-site driver with technology.
Let's go to the college basketball scores for the ladies. It is 34 minutes past the hour of midnight. So here we go. The final four for the ladies goes like this. Number 1 seed UConn beat number 2 seed Baylor 69. Let's try again. 69. 67. And number 3 seed Arizona over 4 seeded Indiana 66-53. So one half of the final four is number 1 ranked UConn and number 3 Arizona. Their teams tomorrow. Let's check. Both games on ESPN. The quarterfinals at 7. We'll have 6 seeded Texas against number 1 seed South Carolina. That's at 7 o'clock. Then at 9 o'clock, it's number 2 seed Louisville against number 1 seed Stanford. And there you go. Right back where we belong, doing sports. Okay, we keep. Let's keep going. In baseball, the former number 1 overall pick, Mark Appel, or Appel, I'll call him. Right-hander Mark Appel, the number 1 pick in the 2013 MLB draft, is, well, attempting a comeback with the Philadelphia Phillies. The team announced Monday morning. Appel, hi there, can we get that backed up there, boys? Thank you. Thank you. The number 1 pick in the 2013 MLB draft is attempting to come back with the Philadelphia Phillies. The team announced Monday morning Appel stepped away from baseball to pursue a business career in 2018, but he will report to the club's minor league spring training camp in Florida this week. Evan Drellick of The Athletic recently spoke to Appel, who confirmed he stepped away from baseball in part because he was dealing with nagging shoulder problems from Drellich. In this interview, quote, "All I know is I left because I was hurt. I didn't see a path to getting healthy, at least quick path to getting healthy. Just kind of in a tough place emotionally, being away from family and doing something, the rehab life, spending just a few hours at the field and living at a hotel, being away from everyone, feeling like you're missing out on parts of life with family back home." The 29-year-old Appel spent the last 2 years traveling and working at a firm that provides athletes with loans early in their career as protection against injury or failure. He also invested in a sandwich shop in Houston, his hometown. Appel attended games at Minute Maid Park when the Athletics were in town to support A's outfielder Stephen Piscotty, his college roommate. The Astros selected Appel out of Stanford with the number 1 pick in the 2013 draft, 1 pick before the Cubs selected Chris Bryant. Now, Baseball America ranked Appel the number 2 prospect in the draft class, behind current Rockies right-hander John Gray. Their scouting report said he shows everything scouts look for in a frontline pitcher. and Houston paid him a $6.35 million bonus. Now, Appel was so highly regarded at the time that he was a first-round pick in back-to-back years. The Pirates selected him with the number 8 pick in the 2012 draft, but he turned down a bonus approaching $4 million and returned to Stanford for a senior season. Pittsburgh used the compensation pick, number 9 overall, to select Austin Meadows in 2013. Now, despite his pedigree, Appel struggled immediately in pro ball, pitching to a 6.91 ERA in 83 1/3 innings between single A and double A in 2014. The Astros traded him to the Phillies as part of the Ken Giles deal in December 2015. He had a 5.06 ERA in 375 in the third minor league innings when he stepped away from the game in 2018. The Phillies retained Appel's rights the last 2 seasons, not including the most recent drafts. Appel is one of 4 number 1 overall picks not to reach Major League Baseball, joining Steve Shilcott, 1966 Mets, Brian Taylor, 1991 Yankees, and Brady Aiken, 2014 Astros. Aiken didn't sign with Houston and was the 17th overall pick by Cleveland in 2015. And we have the scores from the spring training session. Or do we do those, or can we do those later? No, we'll do them right now. Here we go. In the 8th inning, Dodgers lead the Angels 10-1. Final scores: Mets and Cardinals end in a 3-3 tie. Red Sox over the Braves 4-0. Twins over the Pirates 5-3. Blue Jays whacked the Phillies 13-7. Tigers over the Yankees by a score of 5-2. Rays over the Orioles 8-3. Nationals and Astros tied at 2. Giants beat the Athletics 7-2. Royals over the Indians 5-4. Cubs over the Diamondbacks 7-1. Mariners and Reds ended in a 5-5 tie. Rockies slam danced the Padres 10-2, and the Brewers blanked the Rangers 4-0. Wow. All right. Let's keep going on our headlines. More National Football League news. And Deshaun Watson. Oh, boy, the saga continues for this poor soul. The Houston Texans quarterback is once again feeling a little more heat as a lawyer in Texas has filed 19 separate civil lawsuits that are all alleging sexual misconduct against Deshaun Watson, the Houston Texans quarterback. Now, the lawsuits were filed by Houston attorney Tony Busby, who has entered them into court on behalf of multiple women who are all claiming that Watson committed at least one act of sexual misconduct or assault against them. The suits are all similar in nature. In each case, Watson is accused of acting inappropriately after hiring a female to give him a private massage. One of the lawsuits refers to Watson as a serial predator and includes allegations he sexually assaulted a massage therapist in California. Now, we've already went through the long list of lawsuits. And after Watson was hit with his third lawsuit, which came on March 18th, the NFL confirmed to our friends at CBS Sports that the league opened an investigation against the Texans quarterback to see if he violated the NFL's personal conduct policy. On Watson's end, the quarterback had his lawyer, Rusty Hardin, respond to the allegations on March 23rd. In a statement provided to CBSSports.com, the attorney wrote that any allegation that Deshaun forced a woman to commit a sexual act is completely false. This is going to be mighty interesting. Stand by. Okay, let's kick Let's kick it off with NCAA basketball, or not basketball, NBA basketball. Of a jam-packed night of hoops for the pros. All games are final. Washington Wizards beat the Indiana Pacers 131-124. Pelicans of New Orleans over the Boston Celtics 115-109. Brooklyn Nets 112-107 winner over the Minnesota Timberwolves. Miami Heat over the New York Knicks 98-88. Pistons over the Raptors 118-104. Memphis Grizzlies over the Houston Rockets 120-110. Dallas Mavericks over the Oklahoma City Thunder 127-106. Sacramento Kings over the San Antonio Spurs 132-118. Utah Jazz over the Cleveland Cavaliers 114-75. Golden State Warriors beat the Chicago Bulls 116-102. And the Clippers laid waste to the Milwaukee Bucks 129-105. And in a moment when I return, we got hockey and some media bites, including a name change for the fun folks of Intercom and their website, or their radio, their live radio streamer, radio.com. We'll explain all that in a moment. Going to take a bit of a pause, and I shall return shortly. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. I shall return.
Shooting guard this year, and even though he played all 28 of the Spartans games this season, he struggled offensively, shooting just 33% from the field and 25% from three. But there were a few games where Rockets took off. The regular season finale against Michigan was one of them, when he scored a game-high 21 points, which happened to be too shy of his career high. Without him, the Spartans wouldn't have beat the Wolverines that day. Watts expressed his adoration for Spartan Nation in a tweet this afternoon, and it was a pretty lengthy message. He thanked everyone from the faculty members to the athletic trainers and, of course, the coaching staff, saying, quote, "I want to let you know how much I appreciate you investing your time into me. It's been an amazing experience from beginning to end quote. Of course, Izzo issued a statement saying, quote, "In preparation for last season, we had to ask Rocket to take on a new role. It's the type of position change where a spring, summer, and fall of practice would have been extremely beneficial for him. Unfortunately, the pandemic created circumstances beyond anyone's control. As a result, he didn't get the necessary practice time, which put him in a difficult and challenging situation. After several discussions over the past week, we mutually agreed that he may benefit from a fresh start elsewhere and is putting his name in the transfer portal," end quote. Well, in women's hoops, the trip to the Final Four was on the line tonight in San Antonio between the second-seeded Baylor Bears and top-seeded UConn. And coming out of halftime, the Bears had Gino Urban and Huskies all out of sorts. Third quarter, Melissa Smith knocks down the deep jumper and it puts the Bears up by 7. But not long after that, the Huskies would put together a 19-0 run, and it was Paige Beckers who did the heavy lifting. She had nothing but ice in her veins tonight, dropping 28 points. Huskies back on top by 7. However, this game would come down to a last-second shot. Dejanay Carrington is the perfect Bear to have the ball in this situation, and as she shoots her shot with 24 seconds on the clock, there is no foul call despite the heavy contact. UConn survives 69-67 to advance to 14th straight Final Four. That is unbelievable. Well, look at the original semifinal night.
Oh, there he is. There she is.
On now with the Cougars from Lansing Catholic. Casey Williams has turned
On the counter overlooking the cabinet. Yep. She's looking for that mouse.
Oh, it's a cat.
Yes.
We had a dog, didn't we?
Nope. Well, long ago. Okay. All right. All right, let's keep going. 20 minutes, and we're looking good. Sorry I took that break, but I took a break for the restatorium, as I like to call it. Our mascot Uno is right now taking a look at a couple of the cabinets here. She's hunting, and it ain't for rabbit. Let's go to the NHL and see how they've been doing. We've done baseball. Well, the USA. Let's go now to some NHL scores as we continue on our merry little Jason Sambone way. Only one game to go in the NHL tonight. 4:09 remaining. We'll have that updated to 3:10 remaining in regulation. Minnesota Wild, San Jose Sharks are tied at 3. In overtime, the Edmonton Oilers beat the Toronto Maple Leafs 3-2. Smith for Edmonton, 29 saves. Nurse. Did you call a doctor? Why should I call you a doctor? I'm the surgeon. Hey, old MASH episode reference. Nurse for Edmonton, 1 goal. Marner for Toronto, 1 goal and an assist. Pittsburgh Penguins beat up the New York Islanders 2-1. DeSmith from Pittsburgh, 19 saves. Marino for Pittsburgh, 2 assists. And Martin, New York Yankee, 1 goal. That's good. Philadelphia Flyers in overtime defeated the Buffalo Sabres, and that I think gives Sabres another loss in a long list. Couturier for Philly, 1 goal, 1 assist. Giroux for Philly, 1 goal and an assist. Provorov for Philly, 1 goal, 1 assist. Colorado Avalanche beat up the not-so-mighty Ducks of Anaheim 5-2. They were so embarrassed they didn't show the 3 stars for that game. Winnipeg Jets overtook the Calgary Flames 5-1. Ehlers for Winnipeg, 3 assists. Scheffel for Winnipeg, 2 goals, 1 assist. And Kopp for Winnipeg, 1 goal. Vegas Golden Knights over the LA Kings 4-1. Martinez for Vegas, 1 goal. Smith for Vegas, 1 goal. And Marchessault for Vegas, 2 assists. And there you have the NHL. Let's take you now to the AHL and show you some of their scores. And we can, and we will, and we do. That's right, folks. We got some scores for you. Hockey League, we're not sure about anymore. We'll keep updating you when their season will begin. But let's get to it. Let's show and prove. Let's show and tell, gang. Let's show and tell. And here we go. Monday, we had, I think, only 1 game scheduled for Monday, but we'll make sure. The Toronto Marlies beat the Stockton Heat 4-3, and that was the only game in the AHL. The OHL continues on their non-playage. So there you go. With all that, let's take you for a media bite on awfulannouncing.com. And big news before we go further on the Mary Chase and Sanborn. Big announcement from Intercom. As you know, Intercom purchased CBS Radio. And they now call themselves, or at least in their intro tags on stations, sports stations like 97.1 WXYT FM Detroit, they call themselves radio.com station. Well, we got some big news. Intercom and their streaming service, radio.com, are about to change their name and get rebranded, and I don't think it'll feel so good. You know. So what's going to happen to Intercom and radio.com on Tuesday? Big news. We're going to share it with you. If we can pop our, let's pop our little thing. Intercom is planning a major rebranding announcement on Tuesday. Radio Insight has learned that the company will be announcing it is changing its corporate name and radio.com to Odyssey, Audacy. The company trademarked the name in November of last year and has reserved multiple social media accounts for the name, including at Odyssey, at Odyssey Audio, Odyssey News, and Odyssey Sports. Company managers were informed of the change today, and employees will be notified at a town hall to be held tomorrow, which actually about 54 minutes ago is also known as today. So goodbye, Intercom, and you'll be hearing this. I'll do this, Harry, if you don't mind. All righty. WXYT FM, let's try that. WXYT FM, WXYT FM, HD1 Detroit, 97.1 The Ticket, an Odyssey radio station. That rolls off the tongue good. Indeed, it does. Hey. All right. Let's kick it off with more media news and notations, including this one. Unfortunately, if you are a T-Mobile subscriber, you are going to lose something. There have been plenty of streaming TV options launched over the past few years. Well, one of those is now going bye-bye. That would be wireless provider T-Mobile's T-Vision service, which was launched 2 years ago. Dade Hayes of Deadline.com reports that T-Mobile is canceling that service as of April 29th and replacing it with $10 discounts for T-Mobile subscribers on alternative streaming services Philo, I think it's Philo, Philo, usually $20 a month, and YouTube TV, usually a whopping $65 a month. Wow. T-Vision's offerings are outlined in the October piece from The Verge, which falsely claimed that November 2020, when the service was going to be launched, it's been around for more than a year at that point. Those offerings include $10 per month T-Vision Vibe tier with around 30 channels, $40 per month T-Vision Live News and Sports tier, notably missing CBS, a $50 per month T-Vision Live Plus tier that included the Big Ten Network, ESPNU, NFL Network, and regional NBC sports channels, and a $60 per month Live Zone tier with NFL Red Zone. Now, with this shutdown, existing T-Vision subscribers can get a free month of either Philo, which has lots of channels, but not sports-specific ones, or YouTube TV, which has a fair bit of sports-specific channels. And it's interesting to see the streaming TV space contract this way. And it's notable to see T-Mobile change their plans from running their own TV services to partnering with existing services. Let's see how this shakes out for them in the years ahead. Personally, for me, I wish they'd go not with Philo, but with, with Pluto.tv. But we wish them luck in all this. Also, in one more little Bama Slamma of media. No, I think we've already done that. Yes, we have. So that's your media out. That's your media bites for tonight. Let's take you now to some soccer scores and then over to the scoreboard, to which we will then disappear before your very eyeballs. And how are you? And we got it. All right, let's go to it, ladies and germs. International friendly, Ecuador defeated Bolivia 2-1, and in World Cup qualifying North and Central America, oh Canada, you beat the Cayman Islands by the score so big. We'll be singing this somewhat off key. You beat them 11-0. Superior and indeed worthy. I wish that United States men's national team were luckier than you. But good luck, Canada, and thank you. 11-0 Canada over the Cayman Islands. And that, believe it or not, is that. 2 games. Wow. 2 games. It's crazy. Okay, and while we get this chance, hello to my friends on Facebook. Gab Social. Also, Minds, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and the ever popular, ever lovable TikTok. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's finish it up tonight with the most wildest of let's kill my neck here. All right. So here we go. We don't do the NBA because we've already done that. In Italian basketball, Reggiana defeated Pesaro 91-79. Spanish basketball had Estudiantes over Morabanc Andorra 97-85. Swedish hockey had Farjasad over Skellefteå 4-3. Leksands over Malmo 4-1. Luleå over Linköping 7-1. And Växjö over Frölunda 3-2. All right. By the way, in overtime, 3 minutes left. San Jose Sharks and the Minnesota Wild continue to tap dance 3-3. Preseason baseball, did we do all that as well? Yeah, well, you want to do it again? No. Dodgers and Angels. In the 9th, Dodgers about to hand the Angels another loss. They lead 10-2. But do we do all? Yeah, let's do them again. St. Louis and the Mets. Cardinals, Mets tied at 3. Red Sox over the Braves 4-0. Baltimore Orioles over Tampa Bay 3-0. Tigers over the Yankees 5-2. Blue Jays over the Phils 13-7. Twins over the Pirates 5-3. Nationals and Astros tied at 2. Cubs Diamondbacks. Cubs beat the DBs 7-1. Cincinnati Reds, Seattle Mariners tied at 5. Royals 5-4 winners over the Indians. Giants 7-2 winners over the Oakland Athletics. The Colorado Rockies beat the San Diego Padres 10-2. And the Milwaukee Brewers blanked the Texas Rangers 4-0. In South Korea and the Korean Baseball Organization, one game has finished up. And that's the LG Twins beating the SSG Landers 2-1. Games in progress. In the fourth inning, Doosan Bears lead the Samsung Lions 3-0. Also in the fourth inning, the KT Wiswan lead the Kia Tigers 2-1. In the fourth inning, the Hanwha Eagles lead the Kaiwum Heroes 5-1. And in the eighth, the SSG Landers blanking the LG Twins by a score of 3-0. That, in a complete and utter nutshell, is going to do it for us here on our little show. We told you that the Baylor game went a little long, so we decided we are going to do just a little bit of a show. We are over 30 minutes. So we want to thank all of you for joining us for this short version of Sports Final. We're back tomorrow night once again after the late game as the other half of the grade 8 play. And it'll be UCLA taking on the Michigan Wolverines in the nightcap. And we'll make sure we'll be on the air after that game right here on the L2C Media Network and YouTube. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And we wish you on the West Coast good night. And here on the East Coast, it's good morning, whatever it is. Make it a blessed one. I'm Steve, the Baxman Baxley, for Harry von Stuttgart, for Uno, for Sharon Baxley, my mother, and for everyone involved in the final. I'm Steve, the Baxman Baxley, saying thank you for watching. Blessings to all, and to all, a very good night. This has been a presentation of Mystifying Creativity Productions in association with the L2C Media Network and L2C Sports. We'll see you tomorrow night after the late NCAA tournament game. Good night, everybody.